Welcome to Coffee with Chaos, which means it's Wednesday night, I hope. My name is James, and here is my coffee. I'm kind of out of chaos. I've been cleaning up. It won't last forever. Before I get started on the main part of the show, which is showing comic books mostly, I want to talk to you for a minute about comic book bags. Now, if you ask any collector how many different types of comic book collector or comic book bags there are, the chances are they're going to say three: polyethylene, polypropylene, and mylar. And that's what they're going to say. They would, of course, be wrong. Because a lot of the collectors forget that there's a newer style bag that is oriented polypropylene, or yeah, I'm all out of chaos. Well, actually, I still have a lot in the other room, but you can't see it, so it doesn't count. Anyway, mylar is always considered the gold standard for just regular comic book storage, and it is extruded biaxially oriented polyethylene. That's what mylar is. It's polyethylene, but it is the gold standard for just normal storage of comic books. We're leaving out slabs completely here. To my way of thinking, the second best would be the extruded oriented polypropylene, which is OPP bags, and that's what I use for most everything, and I prefer it. Number one, it's a whole lot cheaper than mylar, and number two, it gives the same clarity as mylar. That's what I like, but it's not tested and proven, and a lot of people don't like it. I don't know why. Then we have polypropylene, which is probably the best for low budget storage of comics, although it's about the same price as the oriented polypropylene. Yeah, I like OPP bags. They're for me, they're the best. Although I also use mylar. And polyethylene is absolutely the worst. Now, polypropylene can last about 5 years in normal storage conditions. However, if you store them in appropriate humidity, in a dark area, and they don't get exposed to a lot of light, they can last 30 years. I have polypropylene bags, comics in polypropylene bags, that are 30 years old. I've been meaning to change them. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. You know, something about over 20,000 comic books. It takes a while to get things done. And polyethylene lasts for about 3 years, and it starts getting sticky and deteriorating. And I've actually pulled comics out of polyethylene bags that they've been in for about 10 to 15 years. And you hold the bag up, and not only is it nasty and yellow, but you can see the outline of the inks of the comics on the bag. Polyethylene bags, that's a no-go. We don't like them. And those are the bags that, you know, that's all the bags there are. You ask any collector, they're going to tell you. That's it. There's those four. That's it. There's no more. They don't know what they're talking about. Because there's another one. In the 90s, Ultra Pro came out with a different bag. It was made of vinyl. Now, I know what you're thinking, that James here has lost his mind. You don't know what he's talking about. But I can prove it, because I have some. I have about 100 of them. Maybe 200. I don't know exactly how many I have. Because it was a new item from Ultra Pro. I was carrying all of the Ultra Pro products in my store. So I got some of these as well. Now, they didn't sell. And I've never used them. They clear on one side, white on the other, and they have a little Ultra Pro hologram seal on it. And, you know, it's a thicker vinyl on the back. And I decided, well, I'll put a comic book in it to see how it looks. And, yeah, it doesn't look bad. Would I put my whole collection in it? Oh, hell no. No, I wouldn't. And not because they're not good, because they don't make them anymore, number one. And number two, you can't see the back. Now, I used blue tape on these because I use blue tape on all the eggs. I don't like self-sealing, and these are self-sealing. As you can see, maybe you can see, there's a little gum strip here with the plastic on it. See, there it is. And that peels off, and you can fold it over and seal it that. It's not, I mean, it's kind of flimsy, but it does give some support to the comic. I'll give it that much. Now, Ultra Pro does make something similar to this currently. It's not made of vinyl. And it has it's like a 3-part, got 3 different sections, and it has a board inlaid into it and sealed off. So you put the comic in there, there's already a board in, it's already got a backing board. Put the comic in it, you seal it up, and it's all good. And they sell that on their website today. So there you go. There's 5 types of bags. But nobody ever heard of these. So there you go. That's my little bit of extra knowledge that, you know, I know a few things. I've been around for a while. I know a few things. I can tell you who made the first bags for comic books. I have an old one somewhere. Robert Bell made the original bags for comic books. And I have an old Robert Bell bag somewhere. I think I have it in a Mylar. There's no comic book in it. This is in the bag. I just don't know where it is. So that's that. Now let's talk about the next subject. If you didn't watch my video today that I dropped, well, shame on you. You should, because it was all about this and putting it back together. Now I need to cold press this for a couple of days because that's the way I do it. I do a hot press for about 10 minutes, let it cool down for 4 to 6 hours. Then I transfer it to a cold press. I haven't transferred this to a cold press yet. I have it in a OPP bag, just sitting there, and because I wanted to bring it in and show it to you. This is how it turned out. I think it looks pretty good, but I still need to finish pressing it, which will take probably 40 hours, because that's the way I do it. Is it perfect? No. Is it good enough to read? I'll let you know after I finish reading it. But I think it came out nice. I will show it one more time. I'll show it on Friday. But Friday, we also start a new project. And I got that mostly in the bag. I got a few more. I got another segment that I'm going to do tomorrow. And then I'll release it tomorrow night. Well, actually, I'll upload it tomorrow night for my release on on Friday morning. And that's the plan. There you go. Vinyl comic book bags. Our Army at War, number 269, Sergeant Rock. I'm putting it to bed. It's going to go in my collection, but I'm going to read it. So what's next? Well, I guess it's time to show you a few things I got today. Some of them were surprised. They were AOKs. We like AOKs. They're fun. and some of them I ordered. And there's a story behind that too, and we'll get to it. These were sent to me by my friend Patrick Murphy, and he sent me a stand for a model that he sent me a long time, a couple of 2-3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. I don't remember, but he found the stand, so he sent it to me, and these were in the package. I didn't look them up and didn't see what they were. Let's see, this is number 230 from July of 1977. Little Lulu, number 230. Yep. So it needs a little love, but it's not a big deal. I'll probably just clean it, press it, take out the spine roll because I don't like spine rolls, and this one definitely has one. Something from my collection. Binky, number 68. I don't have this one. Yay, I got it now. Yeah, I'm crazy. I like this stuff. I'll leave it to Binky. That's hilarious if you ever get a chance to read one. Then got a couple of Archies here. I got Madhouse Mad Jokes. And this is number 69 from August of 1969. Let's take a break and say hi, and then I'll go to the rest of the ones. We got Michael Parks made some comments early on. And then the Salesboy Comics showed up. He's probably listening to me while he's doing something else. Michael Mayrand is here. Good to see you, Michael. I might send what I have for you out this week or next week. I haven't decided yet. Jason from Archivist of Rift. He's down with my OPP. He likes OPP. It's good stuff. We likes it. Just here browsing. Glad you could stop in. There he is. Yeah, but Ziploc bags aren't comic book bags. A lot of people have stored them. I've got a bunch of them in Ziploc bags that I got them. They're older comics, early Silver, Atomic, or some of them are even Golden Age, but they're in really bad shape. So I'm just leaving them in the Ziploc bag until I get around to working on them. So yeah. And again. Yeah, I've seen people do the vacuum bags. I think it's silly. Diecast, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, are you feeling okay? You made it on time. Are you feeling okay? Kenneth Bird, glad you could stop in. And Felix Maldonado, always glad to see you. So what else did he send me? He sent me a Laugh number 255. This one's not in bad shape. It's, I'd say, a mid-grade copy. It does have a slight spine roll. But overall, not bad. Probably just a clean and press. That'll be fine. Now for a story. I was talking to a friend of mine. He's looking for some comic books. Wanted to know if I might have them. He's looking for like a Web of Spider-Man 36. A direct market copy of Web of Spider-Man 118, which I thought I had a half a dozen of, but turns out I don't have one at all. And what was the other one? Spectacular Spider-Man 139. And I have that. I have the Web of Spider-Man 36 and the Spectacular. I got a couple of the Web of Spider-Man 36s. But it got me thinking, Web of Spider-Man, that's the only Spider-Man title I collect. Partially because of the beautiful Charles Vess art on the first cover. And it has a lot of appearances of Black Cat in it, so I collect it. And so I went on eBay and I bought some. I got a number 35, a number 14, a number 13, and a number 12. That's my new stuff for the week. Well, I got other stuff, but I'm not going to hold up my vacuum cleaner and show it to you. That's the other thing I bought this week. I think it's time to show what I pressed this week. And then we'll move on to some other things. I don't know. It might be. I have no idea what I do with it. No, I got 12, 13, and 14. 36 is the one that he was interested in. 180, Spectacular Spider-Man 139. That's the origin of Tombstone. And he didn't really want 139. He just wanted to read it. My copy is pretty much mint. I don't know if I want to let somebody read it. I might. So what do I have here? I have Richie Rich and Jackie Jokers, number 6, with a lot of writing on it. It's still about a mid-grade comic, because without the writing, it might even go up to high grade. I have no idea who did the cover, because I don't know who did any of the Richie Rich covers. And then, of course, I went ahead and pressed this and cleaned it. Came out really nice. Showcase number 76, Batlash. Nick Cardy. This is the first appearance of the Batlash. And like I said, Nick Cardy cover from 1968, August 1968. And I'm using a different. I changed my label that I put on the comics that I press. Matter of fact, I'll show it to you. Got one right here. That's because I needed to print off some more labels, and that's what it looks like. I probably should make it a little bigger than what it is. It's really hard to write in those small spaces. But that's how I'm doing it. This number here, that's 25 is the year, 10 is the month, and this is the number for the comic that I've pressed. So when I get to using this one, I will have pressed 991 comics this year. Of course, when I hit 2011, it'll go back to 0001. And there's a room for title, issue, cover date, cover artist, and I do 4 grades for my comics. Mid-grade, well, high grade, which is an 8.5 and above. Mid-grade, which is a 4.5 to 8. Low grade, which is a 1 to 3.5. And what I call no grade, because if you grade it, you got to be nuts. And that's a 0.5 and below. Now, everybody knows that if you've done anything with CGC or any of the other companies, there's nothing below a 0.5. 0.5 is the minimum grade. But that's not the case. The Overstreet Grading Guide has a 0.3, a 0.03, and a 0.01. So you got 0.05, 0.03, 0.01. And what that is, I've got it here. 0.03, 0.05 is poor. 0.03, books that are coverless but otherwise complete, or covers missing their interiors. And then you have 0.1, which is coverless comics missing pages. So when they show you just a page and CGC gives it a 0.5, I'm sorry, that's an incomplete comic. It's 0.1, and it shouldn't be graded a 0.5, but that's just me. So what else do they grade? How about American flag number 22? Of course, we all know Howard Schenken did the art because he did all of the art on all of them. This is from December, maybe? Nope. I got the wrong thing on it. It's July 1985. And this is actually a high-grade copy. Yeah, I don't like people reading my comics either. I read them. I read my comics because I know I can do it without hurting. I know I don't wear gloves. I wash my hands a lot. Probably wash my hands 40 or 50 times a day. Next we have from Amazing Comics. Yeah, it's amazing. There you go. There you go, Dylan. X-Mutants #2, Ron Lim cover art, Ron Lim interior art. This is his second professional comic book work, and it's from 1987. His first professional comic book work was in X-Mutants #1. Imagine that. Ron Lim art, very early Ron Lim art. But even then, he was good. We have Classics Illustrated Junior, number 544-576, The Golden Fleece. This one was issued in 1964. It is a reprint. I don't know who did the cover. Nobody knows who did the cover. Looks a little like Mike Sikowski's art, but I don't know. Then we have John Stanley's Melvin the Monster, or Melvin Monster. This is not Melvin Monster. This is Pages of Fun, and it's Drawn and Quarterly presents Pages of Fun. And it's advertising a bigger book that they did. And it was a free comic book day item. And this one is high grade from 2008. And the cover was by Seth Designs. There you go. Amazing. I knew I could get you to do that. I'm going to clip one of your videos, just the amazing part, and put it in my playbook and throw it up there once in a while. If that's okay with you. And if it's not okay with you, yeah, we'll work it out. Here's from Dell Comics, Marge's Tubby. Number 37, Lloyd White did the cover. And it's from December 1959. And if some of these look familiar, it's because they have dogs on the cover, and it was from a couple of weeks ago when the Friday challenge put out by Collector Geek was dogs on the cover. Dogs or wolves on the cover. That's most of these right now we're going through. I said, well, why don't I just press them? I have them out. I'll go ahead and put them in line to press. So that's what I did. There's Elf Quest number 21, same story. Wendy Penny, of course, did the artwork, and it is from April of 1987. Next up, we have Classics Illustrated Junior number 561-576. Is Hans Humdrum. Cover art by L.B. Cole. And that is truly amazing. L.B. Cole actually did quite a few Classics Illustrated covers and Classics Illustrated cover junior, Classics Illustrated Junior covers. I'm pretty sure he did the painted cover version of Black Beauty. That from Classics Illustrated. I'll dig it out one day and show it to you. I have it over here somewhere. Back there. It's on one of those shelves. We've got Queen of the West, Dale Evans. This is number 5 from October of 1954. And of course, that's a photo cover of Dale Evans and their dog Bullet. Joy Rogers' dog Bullet. We have the Jetsons, number 27 from July of 1968. Tony Strobel did the art. I think that's a pretty cool one. I like that. And of course, Werewolf by Night, number 5 from May of 1973. Mike Plug did the art, and there's his name right there. Funny thing about this is I looked this up to see who did it. His name's right here. This is MGM's Lassie. This is number 27 from April of 1956. And Morris Goulou did the artwork. That is a painted cover. Guy's an amazing painter. And Rin Tin Tin, number 10. I didn't realize it that way. This is from November of 1955. And of course, as far as I'm concerned, Rin Tin Tin, he was the dog. Loved watching Rin Tin Tin when I was little. Next up, from Eclipse Comics, we have Zot, number 1. Scott McCloud did the cover. It's from April of 1984. There's a Silver Star, number 5. Of course, Jack Kirby did that one. And that's from November 1983. Is that number 5? Why do I have number 4 written on the back? Oh, well. Yeah, I've had several collies over the years. I've had purebred collies. I've had border collies. I've had Australian shepherds, which are pretty much a collie. I've had a border collie, and she was my favorite of all of the ones I've ever had. I also had a collie shepherd that a vet told me, and if I didn't give her heartworm medicine, she probably wouldn't last 5 years. She lived to be, she died of old age. She died at 15, and she was a huge dog. She probably weighed over 100 pounds. Gentle as could be, unless you were a bird. If you were a bird, she was going to get you. All right. Charlton Comics, Attack, number 13. Tom Sutton cover. And this is from September of 1973. Like Tom said. Probably. Probably. They probably did. They've stolen a lot of ideas over the years. Here's Archie and Friends, number 17. Direct market copy. Dan Parent did the art on this one. It's from 1996, February 1996. It's the cover date. And all the dates that I give you are cover dates. Now, what a cover date means is that was the date that the new seller or the distribution seller would take them off the sales floor, rip off the title, and send the title back to get credit for the comic. That's what that date is. Has nothing to do with when the comic was released. Had everything to do with when it was supposed to be taken off the sales floor. Next up, this is actually a movie comic, but it's PT 109 movie comic. It has no number. It's from September 1964. And the cover is by Frank McSomebody. I can't read it. I can't read my writing. Frank Mick somebody. Yeah, the ink smeared and I can't read it. Next up, we have Tarzan, number 43. And of course, that's a Lex Barker photo. And this was from April 1953. 43? That's not 33, that's 43? I thought this was number 33. At this point, the Tarzans had no longer artwork on the back. Yeah, this is number 43. Which is kind of strange because they just cleaned number 40 to put it. Okay. Our favorite barbarian, Sergio Aragon's Gru, the Wanderer, number 16 from June of 1986. And of course, Sergio Aragon did the art. Next, Captain 3D. Number 1. I don't think there was ever a number 2. It is, believe it or not, this comic book has never been cleaned, never been cleaned. It has been pressed. It's from December of 1953. Jack Kirby did the art, or at least the cover. And I would put this one at high grade, definitely high grade. It's just a gorgeous copy. I think there was a warehouse find on these. This does still have the 3D glasses in it. Next up, we've got Batlash, number 1. Nick Cardy cover from November 1968. American Flag, number 12. Howard Shakin did the art. from September 1984. Now, this one I'm probably going to do some work on later on, but I just wanted to humidify it and press it and make it look presentable, somewhat presentable. It has a nasty stain on the side here. Ross Andrew did the cover art of Butch Cassidy #3. And the cover date is October 1971. And here's that stain right here. And it's pretty nasty. I may try to get that out at a later date, but for right now, I'm just happy with it the way it is. There aren't a whole lot of Skywald comics out there. I'm going to make a list of them someday so that I can try to get them all. Yeah, why not? Next up, we have number 523-576, Classics Illustrated Junior, The Gallant Tailor. And this is a reprint from 1968. And Mike Sikowski did do the artwork on this cover. And you know, I saved the best for last. What we have here is Rocketeer Special Edition #1. Dave Stevens art throughout. Well, not really, but he did the main story and the cover art. It's from November 1984. And Alien Worlds #2 from May of 1983, Dave Stevens cover, Dave Stevens story on the inside. I would put this one at a mid-grade because it has some creases. Very tiny crease up here on the corner, and it has some spine stress creases. So that is the last of what I pressed. Well, not really, but it's the last that I'm going to show today. So my basic theme for tonight is changed a little bit. It was supposed to be about comics, you know, short runs of comics that I like and that I enjoyed reading. But I have some honorable mentions that I don't have the full runs of anymore. I had them at one time. I don't have them now for whatever reason. The one that pisses me off is the Wolverine run from Frank Miller. To me, that's required reading. Anybody that's interested in getting into comics should read the 1984 Wolverine miniseries. If you can't afford to get it, you find it in a trade paperback, whatever. But it's just, I'm not a Wolverine fan, but I really like that story. Same with the Punisher miniseries 1-6. Again, for whatever reason, I no longer have the full run. So that's another one that I'm giving an honorable mention to those two. One more honorable mention I'm going to give, and this is a comic that I think anybody just getting into comics should read just because it's such an amazing story, and that would be Gotham by Gaslight. Batman, Gotham by Gaslight. Now, I do have a copy of that, but I didn't dig it out because I've got other stuff in front of those boxes, and I don't feel like getting to them. So, let's go through a few other miniseries, meaning 12 issues or less. I will mention one more that I think everybody should read, and that's Batman, The Long Halloween. It's 13 issues. I've never had all 13 issues. I did pick up a trade of it and read it because I read the first 4 issues and I missed the 5th issue because I sold out of it before I could read it. So, Batman, The Long Halloween, that's another one I think everybody should read. So let's get started with that. We're going to start off with one of my favorites, Man of Steel. And this was a 6-issue miniseries by John Byrne. I didn't look up who did the covers on these, but I'm pretty sure John Byrne did them because it looks like his stuff. That's number one. There's a variant cover of number one, which for some reason I don't have, but I'll end up with it eventually. And it was the very first variant cover offer. You know, in other words, it wasn't an accident. They did that on purpose. There's actually like three different versions. There's the variant cover, there's the regular cover, which is what I have, and then there's the newsstand version of the regular cover. I don't have. And then there's one more in a shorter format that came with a tape. Came with a cassette tape. And there's number two. Number three, and I have the direct market and the newsstand version. Interesting thing, the direct market version has a Canadian price on it. The newsstand version does not. Here's number four. Number five. And this is in Mylar. So let me show you a difference real quick. This is Mylar. This is OPP. These cost about 70 cents each. These cost about 15 cents if you include the board. Yeah. And here's number six, direct market, and number six, newsstand. And for anybody interested in DC Comics and Superman, that should be required reading. The next one, some people think it's great and should be required reading. Some people don't. And I'm going to show this one, but I'm also going to mention another one after I show this. And of course, the one that I'm going to, it's Crisis on Infinite Earths. And of course, that's the newsstand copy. And that's the direct market copy. Incredible story. It ran 12 issues. If you've never read it, there are trade paperbacks of that. I highly recommend it. There's number two. Some people say yes. Some people say no. It was just a different way to make a sale. They were for it's the same comic. Now the Overstreet Price Guide doesn't make any differentiation between newsstand and direct. The comic is the comic. Other people make a big deal of newsstand or direct. For the years that the Crisis on Infinite Earths came out, it doesn't matter. It's just that if I can get both copies, I'm going to have both copies. Not because one's newsstand, one's direct, one's worth more, one's worth less, because I'm anal like that. DC Comics for me are like Pokemon. I got to get them all. Okay. Here's number three. James, been ages since I saw you, buddy. Glad you could stop in. Not anymore, because they don't make newsstand comics anymore. But any comic book that you buy prior to 1976 is newsstand. because it didn't have barcodes back then. Anyway, there's number 3. Number 4, ignore the label. Number 5. And number 6, again, ignore the label. I'm going to remove those. Actually, eventually I'll be taking these out and putting them individual. Probably the one that bothered me the most, number 7. The original Supergirl was one of my favorite DC characters, along with Superman, Wonder Woman, and Green Lantern. And so I was really, really kind of pissed about this. And then they followed that up by killing off Barry Allen. So, yeah. Although they didn't really kill him, they just made him disappear. Oh, there's some good stuff after 1979. My comic world doesn't stop. It goes to wherever. A comic is a comic. I don't care when it was published. Here's number 9. Number 10. And some of them are newsstand, some of them are direct. I don't care as long as I have a copy. Number 11. And number 12. Now, the other one that I'm going to give an honorable mention to is, of course, Marvel Secret Wars, the first Marvel Secret Wars. That was a really good story also. I no longer have copies of it. I sold them back in the 90s for too much money. Not too much by today's standards, but back then it was coming out of my personal collection. And I gave the guy a stupid, I don't want to sell it price of 3 times guide. And he went, okay, I'll take it. And I haven't had him since. Yeah, it is. That's what I'm talking about. These are comics that I consider good reads. Next up, if you've never read this story, you need to. It's that good. And if you're thinking maybe I want to look at the Green Lantern, you get Emerald Dawn. Don't get Emerald Dawn 2. It's crap. The original Emerald Dawn series. And this is my original copy that I bought back when it first came out. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. And number 6. Now I'm going to go back farther. This is one that I read. Oh, I was a kid. If you can believe that, I was once a kid. I have them, but yeah, I have them because I had them, not because it was good. Anyway, this next series, 6 issues, I think, maybe 7. Might have gone 7 issues. Yeah, it went 7 issues. Came out 1968, I believe. Yeah, like I said, I was a kid. I was probably, let's see, I wasn't I just graduated from junior high school, I think. We're getting ready to graduate from junior high school, going into high school. I was a kid. And that's Secret Six. I really liked Secret Six. And they pretty much never did anything with it after this series was over. Not personally, no. Uh, the guy that played Jimmy Olsen in the Superman TV show from back in the early 60s, he did stop into my store one time because my son was doing some work for him and happened to meet him and said, "Hey, my dad has a comic book shop." So we stopped by and said hi. Not That was cool, but I didn't know him personally. Yeah, I sold a lot of mine to some guy in California. Oh wait, that was diecast. There's number two, and these aren't perfect copies, but they're good enough for me. I'm happy to have them. Number three, each one of these is its own story. There's no overriding story part. Number four, and that was the great part about DC Comics in the 60s and even into the 70s a little bit. You could pretty much read an issue, and if you missed a couple issues, it wasn't a big deal because they were standalone stories most of the time. There's number five. I think Ross Andrew did most of these covers. I'm not going to swear to that, but I think he did. Number six. Could have been Nick Cardy. Don't remember. I'll have to look that up sometime. And number seven. Now, by now, you guys probably figured it out that all I'm going to show you today is DC Comics, right? You would be wrong. I have Logan's Run. It's number one. This came out in 1977. So barcodes were still a new thing. There's number two. And these were just cool. I enjoyed these. Number three. Number four. Number five. Number six. And number seven. This one is a key issue. What? Wouldn't number one be a key issue? No, it's just the first appearance of Logan's Run in a comic book. That doesn't make it a key issue. That's not important. This has the first solo Thanos story as a backup, which is what makes it a key issue. Is it for sale? Oh, hell no. I want my Logan's Run collection intact. Now, I don't know how many issues this went, but I only have 12, so I'm going to show them to you. Everybody knows that Journey into Mystery had Thor, issue number 83. What would you say if I told you I have Journey into Mystery number one? Volume 2, number 1. This is one of those 1970s comics that they did. This is October 1972. That's a Gil Kane cover if I ever saw one. I don't know how many issues there were of this. There's number 2, another Gil Kane cover. There's number 3. I don't know. I don't know if that was Kane or not. Number 4. Number 5, and that looks like Steve Ditko's artwork. But I didn't look any of these up. Here's number 6. Number 7. These are all in Mylar, by the way. Back when I was doing the Eternal Mylar project that I finally gave up on because it was just too expensive. Mylar just went through the roof as far as pricing went. It used to be I could get them for, there was a point where I was getting them for like 30 cents a piece. And then all of a sudden they were like 75, 80 cents a piece. And then, of course, after COVID, it dropped back down. Here's number 8. Okay, so I need 7 more issues. Number 9. Number 10, and this has a February 12th date stamp right here, which is kind of cool. Number 11, and this one is not in Mylar. This is an old poly bag. Need to get rid of that sometime. And number 12. So I showed this because I had the first 12. I guess I need to get the other 7, huh? They'll come through my hands eventually. Not going to worry about it. And that's what I've got. Those were some of the things that I think people should. Things I left out. I didn't dig out my collection of Watchmen, although that is one of the things that I think everybody should watch or read. The Watchmen series was incredibly good as far as the comics go. The original Watchmen series. Nah, I was collecting Journey into Mystery for a little while. I decided against it. It's just nearly all the stories have been reprinted in the 70s books. So why bother collecting the originals if I can get the reprints? And they weren't all, I mean, they weren't reprinted in the Journey into Mystery. You'd have to get Creatures on the Loose, Monsters on the Prowl, Tomb of Horrors, Chamber of Darkness, Journey into Mystery, and there was a couple other titles in there. And you need to get all of those to have all of the stories. But, yeah, it's fun. I like collecting the early Bronze Age stuff, the 70s stuff. The stuff that came out when I was in my last couple of years in high school up to about 1976. I really like that period of time. Of course, I was hugely invested in comics at the time. I had a massive collection, biggest collection of anybody. I had like 30 boxes of comics. I was a huge collector. Yeah, I wish I had 30 boxes of comics. I have 18 long boxes. I think 18 long boxes and 160 short boxes. Yeah. And then various other boxes that aren't long or short. They're just other boxes that I've filled with comics. So, yeah, who knows what I've got. But that's what I'm showing. If you would like one of these, if you would like a couple of these vinyl bags, hit me up on Instagram, and you got to pay for shipping. I'm not going to pay shipping to send these out. Just it's a fun thing to have, and that way you can prove to people that at one point they made vinyl comic book bags. Friday, I'm going to start a new project. I've already started it, but Friday is when I'm going to release the first video of the new project. I have one more thing I want to do with it before then. Hopefully I'll have time to do it. I've got a lot of things I got to get done tomorrow. Maybe I'll have time, maybe I won't. If I don't have time to finish it, of course, I'll do an ending for it, and then we'll carry it over to Monday. It does involve leaf casting, so we'll be doing a little leaf casting. I'll be doing some cleaning, and it's not going to be as long as the current one. I plan on going through the interior pretty quickly. I'm not going to show myself doing all of the interior wraps like I did with that one, because the interior of that comic is in really good shape. It just needs to be deacidified. But there's no tears, no creases, no problems with the interior. It just needs deacidification. So I'll probably show you one sample of me deacidifying one, and that's going to be it. And then the rest of the pages, I'll just do them real quick and get them done. So, yeah, I don't like long boxes, but I have about 18 of them, so I don't have enough short boxes to change them over, so I'm just leaving them in the long boxes for now. These are some of them right here. There's 4, 8, 9. There's 10 of them right there. And then I have 4, 5, 6. I probably have more than 18. 2, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 Marvel long boxes. And then a whole bunch of short boxes. I have 3 DC long boxes. So that's 14. That's 17. And then I have 2 that are mixed. And another one there. Okay, yeah, I have maybe 20. I have way too many. That's all I know. So, yeah, I prefer the short boxes, and sometimes I'll use eBay boxes sometimes. Walmart actually sells a box that's just regular brown cardboard, which is, if they're bagged in board, you don't have to have acid-free boxes. Okay? You don't have to have acid-free boxes if your comics are in bags and boards. You don't have to have them in acid-free boxes. And most of the boxes that I have aren't acid-free. They're white because it looks good. Well, they're kind of a dirty white now because they're old. But you don't have to have acid-free boxes. That's correct. My preferred box is the corrugated plastic ones. Unfortunately, the people that I was getting them from got them from China, and they don't want to pay the tariffs. And I told them, I don't mind paying the extra that it would cost to get those because that is the preferred box. And I've got about 40 of those, but yeah, I need another 120, 140 to get all of my comics in that style. And it's a short box, and it looks just like a regular comic box. I have the top for it too. I just haven't put it on there. I don't even know what's in this box. I need to go through it. Maybe I'll find my Dracula number 10. So, yeah. Long boxes are heavy. I do use them. I have one in the other room that I pick it up and put it down about 15 or 20 times a day just for exercise. Because it's heavy. But I can do that. I'm not weak yet. I did have somebody ask me, I have a friend of mine who's about my age, and he was complaining about all the medication that they have him on and this and that. Yeah. He says, how can you make it? You know? But he said, how do you survive? Because he knows that I'm just, Social Security and my little bit of retirement from the post office, which hasn't kicked in yet, and is probably going to be delayed because of the government shutdown. But we're not going to go into that. But yeah, he wondered, how can I afford medication? And I just felt, look, I don't take medication. He went, well, did your doctor prescribe this and this and this and this? I said, no, I don't need it. I don't take medication. I don't need it. And that's not true. I do occasionally need to take a bigger aspirin. That reminds me, I need to buy some because what I've got is like 3 years out of date. Shows you how often I use medicine. I eat good. Absolutely. Nothing like it. There's nothing like, you open a comic and the first thing you do is, oh God. It smells like perfume. This comic feels awful thin. I suspect this is missing some pages. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Missing the centerfold. Well, that's a bummer. That means I can't read this one. It's missing the centerfold. And it was a little Lulu, too. That's all right. I don't care. That just means that if I have another comic that needs staples from this same year, I'll use the staples off of it. The pages are nice, though. It's a shame. I can always use the paper for pulp if I need to. So, and who knows? Maybe I'll find something that needs that same back cover someday. So, just because it's missing a page doesn't mean it's no good. Anyway, that's going to be it for today, for tonight. Hope you all enjoyed something. Hopefully you learned something. Well, actually, I know you learned something because you guys didn't know about these, I'm sure. And someday I'm going to dig out that Valiant poster that I have for you, Diecast. I find it, and then I put it where I know where it's going to be, and I lose it again. But one day I'm going to remember it, and we'll get that off to you someday. It'll be a total surprise. You won't know what hit you. Yes, everybody, subscribe to Salesboy Comics. Subscribe to where is he? Justin's channel. Archivist Adrift. Subscribe to his channel. Heck, just go down there to my, down there in the description, and subscribe to all those people. There's only 4 of them, and they're all comics conservators, and definitely worth subscribing to. Most of you probably already subscribed to Jerry the Jitterbug, but Peter Aleche, he's worth subscribing to. Salesboy Comics, Archivist Adrift. They're all good people. Go ahead and subscribe. So we'll see you later. Take care, everybody. Have yourself a great rest of the week. And we will see you next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central. Bye.